I will tell you one thing. Making your first $5,000 a month, even $10,000 a month, that is the richest you are ever going to feel. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be going over the exact same steps that you need to take to go from $0 in revenue to over $5,000 in total revenue per month. Now, one thing that I do wanna say before we get started is this isn't gonna be a Mickey Mouse video going over get your website done, get an LLC, get your website domain, stuff like that. All of that is important, okay? I'm not dissing any of that. You need all of those. It's proper, it's professional, 100% agreed. But when you're going from $0 to $5,000, your only goal that is in your head is to get clients and to get money in the door. That's what you want. You want money, okay? You want money in the door. You need revenue, okay? You need revenue to pay for your LLC, to pay for your domain and your website. You don't want to go out of pocket for that, okay? So these steps are going to be how to get money in the door right now. Now, before we get into it, I do want to apologize for the audio. I've got a bit of background sound going on there. I did pick up a mic today, but for some reason I can't get this thing to work. So I'm gonna have to have you guys bear with me here, and good audio will be coming in the very near future. That is why I got this microphone. So with that being said, this video is still gonna be value packed, so I want you to sit down and take notes. This isn't gonna be a quick edited, flashy video. It's gonna be solid details and facts and steps that you can take today to go from $0 to over $5,000 in total revenue in your VAS-based business. Now, before we get started, what is a VAS-based business? In all shortness, it's a virtual accounting service-based business. So, personal taxes, corporate taxes, monthly bookkeeping, payroll, account receivables, payables, stuff like that, okay? If you don't know what that is, I made a complete separate video going over exactly what a VAS-based business is in more detail. You can go to my channel and check that out. I believe the video is called Why You Should Start a VAS-based Business, but go to my channel and check it out. So I've got my notes here. Starting off with number one is you want to identify your service/offer. What do I mean by your service/offer? You want to know, what are you exactly offering to these businesses? Because a VAS-based business is a B2B service. It can be a B2C, business to customer or client, or business to consumer, but for the most part, we are going to be B2B. So you want to get down exactly what are you going to be offering. Is it monthly bookkeeping? Is it corporate tax returns? Is it monthly payroll? Is it annual payroll? Is it a mixture of all three of those? What do you want to offer? What do you want to specialize in? And what do you want to give your clients? What is your offer? What is it going to be? Okay? That's something that we need to get clear on from the very beginning. My personal package that I offer, I have a bunch of different add-ons, but when I first started, it was corporate tax return. No, it was monthly bookkeeping, and then an annual corporate tax return, and then an add-on value service that I would do an upcharge later on once I close the client is a personal tax return. Now, what I did is I didn't fully understand. I didn't fully know how to do a corporate tax return, at least not a very good one. So what I did is, just so I could be able to offer that service and make my package seem a lot more valuable than other providers, is I contracted people who knew how to do that kind of stuff, okay? That's honestly it. I have a package. I can give you monthly bookkeeping, account payable, account receivables, monthly payroll, corporate tax return, personal tax return, even though in all reality, I'm only really good at bookkeeping. I may not be the best at corporate tax returns, heck, even personal tax returns, but I know how to find and I know where to find people who are good at that. That is still value to that client. You're still saving that client time. I got my Coke Zero here. I almost spilled that. So, moving on. Identify exactly what your service is and identify what you're going to be offering, and then create your offer around that, okay? If you're not sure what to start with, I just recommend monthly bookkeeping. That's a straightforward, easy package, and you can break that down to make your package look more valuable and more spicier, okay? Moving on is you want to identify your ideal client. Now, obviously business owners, okay? What kind of business owners? Service-based business owners. Perfect, okay, great. That is what I recommend. I wouldn't recommend going for businesses who sell products, because now you have to track inventory, and that's a really specialized skill that you have to have. I wouldn't recommend going for restaurants or cafes, maybe boutique cafes, like really tiny ones where it's easy to manage their inventory and their petty cash. But in larger restaurants, it gets quite difficult to keep track of everything if you're new at this, if you don't know exactly what you're doing. If you have experience in doing bookkeeping for a restaurant, fly at it, because then you can just charge that client more, okay? So identify who your ideal client is. How I recommend you pick that is, what are you interested in? Do you like painting? Do you like origami? Do you like pottery? If you like pottery, search for online pottery businesses or local pottery businesses. Anything you like, I can guarantee you there's a business that is doing that exact same thing. And they probably haven't even found someone who specializes in that service for them. Obviously, they know that there's bookkeepers, but they don't know that there's bookkeepers for pottery businesses, okay? What if there's what if you're a bookkeeper for a pottery business that does night classes? If I was someone who ran a pottery business and I held night classes, and I had a bookkeeper 1 and bookkeeper 2, and they offered me the exact same service, I'm taking the one that advertises as a specialist for pottery, because to me it's more valuable. That's what you want to do. So you want to pick something that you're interested in, or something that you have a bit of knowledge in. So you might say, well, I don't have knowledge in much. You're wrong. Your parents could have been mechanics. Your dad could have been a mechanic. I can guarantee you, around the house, your dad taught you something about engines and cars and how the brakes work and when you need to change the oil. If you can communicate to your prospect in their language, that is the best thing that you can do, okay? So, once you've identified your package and your service and your offer, you're then going to identify your ideal client and who you want to serve and who you want to work with. Step number 3 is you want to identify and choose 1 to 2 maximum 2 methods of acquisition, okay? So methods of acquisition, we've got a couple of different ways. You got social media, you got paid advertising, you've got networking events, and the old-fashioned way, which is like billboard ads, newspaper ads. Every single one of those work for a VAS-based business, but I recommend choosing 1 to maximum 2 and sticking with them. The ones that I would pick, I would go all in on social media and a little bit of paid advertising. I would mainly stick with organic content, because those are going to be a lot easier to close those deals. But social media mixed with ads, paid advertising, that is the best combo that you could ever have, because you have organic content, which is getting a little bit of tiny eyeballs. At the very start, it's free, which is good. So you're getting a bit of tiny eyeballs. But when you pour paid ads on, it's like pouring gasoline onto the fire and the whole thing blows up. Now, the only downside is ads can get a little expensive, okay? There's tricks to lower ads and stuff, but that's a complete separate video. This one, we're going from the steps from $0 to $5,000 per month, okay? So you want to pick your client acquisition method: social media, paid ads, networking events, or the old-fashioned way, billboard ads, newspaper ads, word of mouth, stuff like that, okay? Pick 1, maximum 2, and stick with it and dial it down. If you guys have questions on how to actually pick 1 and use that one, comment them down below and I will do a complete separate video on those. Okay, so step number 4 is you want to get clear on your sales process. So in order to close a client, you can do that 100% over email, 100% over direct DM. You can do that in person, or you can do that over a sales call. I recommend doing a sales call because you could be closing a client that's halfway across the country. But if you want to do only in-person meetings, then have an ideal plan for that. Have an ideal location that you're going to meet up with that client so that you're comfortable in that location. You know the table that you're going to sit at, you know what you're going to order, and you know how you're going to close that deal. Like I said, I recommend sticking with online, doing Zoom calls or even phone calls. Don't be afraid just to jump on the phone and close that deal quickly, because I can guarantee you I've heard this from my own clients, is they weren't expecting a phone call. It's because no one's doing it. They're all afraid and shy and they're too scared to make phone calls, okay? If no one's doing it and you're the only one doing it, you automatically stand out. And business owners are busy, okay? So they sometimes don't have time to go into an email, go back and forth, look inside your calendar, pick a day that they're available, check their calendars, see if it matches up, and then go in. And if they actually do that, it's still a 50-50 if they're actually gonna show up. So sometimes a phone call is a lot better because you just give that prospect a call right now and you get on the phone and you close that deal. They're busy, okay? They want things done quickly. So if you can, do it over a Zoom call or phone call, but at the end of the day, you need to pick your own sales process. And you need to identify every single step, starting from the discovery, how they actually get in touch with you, and then going over exactly what they need all the way to the close and collecting all of their documents to provide that service. Now, moving on to the final step is the actual service delivery. This is where you provide the service that you promised them. So whether you chose monthly bookkeeping, monthly payroll, account receivables payable, corporate taxes, payroll taxes, personal taxes, everything like that. That is when you specialize and you provide the actual service that you promised. And then from there, you are going to rinse and repeat. Now, how do we get from $0 to $5,000? Based off of my numbers and numbers that I've seen with other colleagues who run their own VAS-based business, is on average, your client will be paying you for monthly bookkeeping and personal tax return. They will be paying you, on average, it works out to $400 per month. So I'll pull out my calculator here. In order to get to $5,000 per month with $400 a month packages, we need 12.5 clients. We are gonna round that up to 13 clients. So 13 clients at $400 a month, that is $5,200. Now, $5,200 working with 13 clients. 13 clients is a very small amount of work, okay? It is very little. Maybe it's a lot when you're first starting out. I know when I had my first 10 clients, I was extremely overwhelmed and I was panicking. I was working like 12 hours a day until one day I sat back and I was like, what am I doing? I know how to deliver my service. I know how to get clients. Let's calm down and let's actually do what you're actually doing, which is providing a bookkeeping service. Do the work, okay? Once I actually sat back and was like, oh my God, okay, I know what I'm actually doing. Everything became a lot less stressful. And I can guarantee you, you will go through the same process where even once you get 4 or 5 clients, you're gonna feel somewhat overwhelmed. It's because it's a new process, it's a new experience, it's a new feeling. It's completely fine. You're gonna be uncomfortable for a little tiny bit. But the second you get past that, first off, you're gonna make a lot of money. You're gonna have location freedom, you're gonna have time freedom, and chances are, once you get a taste of how easy this work is and how easy it is getting clients, you're gonna wanna scale up, okay? Now, how long will it take you to get 13 clients? If you follow these exact steps, you put together an offer or package, you have a rough idea of the kind of clients that you want to work with, exactly where they are. Is it a dentist? Is it a chiropractor? What is it? You have a client acquisition method. You know where you're going to find them, if you're doing paid ads, social media, organic, whatever. You have an exact sales process. And then you've got your client service delivery. If you follow all those and you stay consistent with it, you will get to 13 clients within 1 to 6 months at the very most. Maximum 6 months. And the reason why I say 1 month is because you may hit a gold rush your first try. And you may get, if it depends on the month, where a certain amount of businesses need a tax return right now, you're gonna get 13 clients within 1 month. Now, I don't recommend that, because if you're new to this, that's a lot of clients to take on in your first month. It's possible. I've seen it happen and I've heard it happen. But I'd say if you follow everything based off my experience, you can see those results within 1 to 6 months at the very most. So think about it then. What would your life look like in 6 months with an extra $5,200? Would you quit your job? Would you stay at home? Would you go travel? Maybe pay off debt? What could you do with that $5,200? I will tell you one thing. Making your first $5,000 a month, even $10,000 a month, that is the richest you are ever going to feel. Now, whether that is financially rich or freedom rich, that is the most richest you are ever going to feel. And you need to enjoy that feeling, because once you hit 20K a month or 30K a month, the feeling's gonna be great, but it's not gonna be like your first $10,000 or even your first $5,000. So I think there's something to be said within that. But if you guys wanna get from $0 to $5,000 per month in monthly recurring revenue in your own VAS-based business virtual accounting service, follow these exact steps and I can guarantee you, you will get there. If you want more detailed steps and more detailed help, join my newsletter down below. I'll be sending you weekly tips and tricks on how to actually grow and scale. If you guys want to follow my Instagram, go ahead and follow that. I'll be posting more detailed content there. And with that being said, you guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.